Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. I was working with a player today, 19-year-old, and we have two videos here. So this is the first round of the day, and then this is probably about 30 to 40 minutes later after going through a handful of drills and explanations of I gave him an assessment, told him what I think we need to work on, and then we went into the drills. All right, and so I'm just going to kind of scrub through this. Now, the only difference between both of these swings, a couple things. One, this toss right here is coming a little bit more from the side. This one's coming from straight ahead. And the other difference is that this ball is just a tiny bit higher than this ball. Okay? But I'm going to scrub through here and, hopefully you can see some differences. And these are, in my opinion, very big changes in a short amount of time. Again, only about 30 to 40 minutes. And this looks like, to me, a completely different hitter. So I want to go through a couple of things that we did. I want your opinion on what you see. And then I want to talk about how I don't want to say it's easy to be able to make some major swing changes. With certain players it is. Like for him, it was really easy for him to grasp what I wanted him to do. And again, we went through some drills. And while I'm on the drills, we do certain drills depending on what the player needs. But there is no magic drill. So I've seen players, I do a lot of the same drills as other people do, but it's more in the explanation, getting the player to understand how to do the drill properly. Because there's a lot of drills that can be done wrong. Okay? But again, this is what can happen when a player wants to make a swing change. Sometimes it doesn't always take forever, and there's a lot more to the swing, in my opinion. You hear a lot of the same old stuff. Get your foot down early. Swing down on the ball. A lot of those things that you'll hear. Don't pull off the ball. But for me, those aren't gonna really affect the hitter very much. They're not gonna change the things in the hitter's swing that they really need to change. And he had been told stuff before. He had said that, one thing he'd been told is to use his lower half more, right? So that's where we kind of started. Use your lower half more. And I said, okay, what do you think of? What do you try to do when you try to use your lower half more? And he said, well, I don't know. And he showed a couple of things. And I said, well, just thinking use your lower half more isn't going to get you anywhere. You have to understand, like, what do you have to do to be able to use your lower half more. And so, okay, let's get into it. All right. So the first thing I do when I watch a player is I look at the path. I think the most important thing is the path, right? So what is the bat doing? And for me, a good barrel path is a few things. One, it has depth. So essentially, it's going to turn deep. It's going to turn back or rearward or whatever you want to call it. The barrel's going to work this way. And when it works this way, it's going to be able to turn and get behind the baseball. But what I mean by behind the baseball is if the ball's coming, let me get this right here. So the ball's being pitched from an elevated mound. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to get this here. Ball's being pitched from an elevated mound overhand to a catcher of the squad. So the ball's going to be coming downhill, right? It's not my opinion. It's just science. And so I want to be able to try to match the plane of that. I want to get my barrel behind the ball, give me the best chance to impact the ball squarely, and have, what we call a hitting window. So essentially it gives me more time to be in the hitting zone, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is I've got to have good direction with my path. And so good direction for me means we're going to swing from the inside out. And so if you think about, as the barrel turns right here, I want to feel like my swing is working from the inside, and then I can release and let the barrel out so I can work, if the ball's away, I can release it out away. If the ball's middle, I can release it middle. If the ball's in, well, I'm already in, I can hit it. Okay, the opposite of that would be getting out here first, and now I'm cutting across the zone, right? That would be from out to in. This would be from in to out. And sometimes people think in to out is like an inside out, like push swing, where I'm just trying to slap the ball at second baseman. That's not what we're trying to do. I would say that all, really solid swings at a high level, hitters that drive the ball, power hitters, all of them, they have a swing that's from in to out. Okay, so those are the things that those are the things that I'm after. Okay, and so if we look at this before we even talk about the differences and what we did, when you watch this first swing, I would say that this swing, if you look from, is this barrel going rearward and turned behind the ball? I'd say no. I'd say this barrel is more pushed out in front. This barrel is a little bit what I would call steep. So it's getting pushed out in front. It's coming down here, right? So it's not turning behind the ball. Okay, and so I'm not going to be able to flush the ball up. I'm not going to get very good ball flight. And typically when a barrel is forward and down, it is also across. And so one of the things that he did early on when we were hitting was he hit a lot of balls to the left side. So a lot of rollovers, a lot of ground balls to shortstop. So hopefully you're able to see kind of what his path looks like right there. Now if we go over to this video, hopefully you're able to see that the barrel on the left is turning deeper, right? So it's turning back behind him more, right? And when it gets turned back behind him more, it's going to work in the zone and behind the ball earlier, right? So you can see that barrel working behind the ball, right? So it's not coming in as steep. I understand again that this ball was flipped a little bit higher, but still I think you can see the difference in how the barrel is turning deeper, okay? And then the second thing is from the inside. So basically that barrel is going to come right off his shoulder from the inside. On this one right here, he hits this one right back to the middle. But a much different path, right? Okay, when you think about, now the next thing is you think about how the body works, together, right? And so what I talk a lot about is we want to try to create stretch or separation or torque. People call it all different things, but essentially, if you've seen our other videos, when this leg starts to turn right here, right? So when my right leg starts to turn, I want to feel like my upper body and the barrel are going to go back, and that's going to create separation. That's going to create stretch or torque. And so as my leg turns like this, my upper body and barrel go back. Right, so now you have your leg going like this, you have everything above it going like that, and you're going to have the barrel whipped into the zone. And I think you can see when you watch this leg turning, you'll see the upper body and the barrel go back on the left. And when you watch it on the right, you'll see the leg not really turning. What he does is he kind of just shifts his weight into his front side. You can see his leg isn't turning very well, but you can see the upper body and the barrel coming this way too. So everything is going in the same direction. It's like having an elastic. If you have an elastic and you want to shoot the elastic, you're going to put your thumb on one end of the elastic, and then you're going to put your index finger and your thumb on the other end of the elastic, and then you're going to push forward with your thumb and pull back with your index finger and your thumb. You're going to stretch the 2 points of the band away from each other. That creates stretch in the band. And then when you release this finger and thumb, the band will shoot instantly, and that's the same thing that we're looking for. So leg is one end of the elastic. Everything above it is the other end. We want to go in opposite directions, create stretch, and now the barrel's whipped into the zone. Okay? So those are a lot of the things that we're looking for. And so the question is, how do you do it? Now, we're not going to go through all the drills that we did, but we did, I would say, 1, 2, 3, probably 4 drills in a matter of 30, 40 minutes, probably 10 minutes a drill. That's with me explaining it and then going through it. And the main idea, what we're trying to get him to do is a couple of things. So one, if I want to be able to get a barrel that works rearward and I need my upper body to work rearward, you can't just say, get your barrel back rearward, get in the zone earlier. Like, you can say that, but that's not going to help the hitter do it. So the first thing we did is I talked to him about getting coiled properly around this leg. So essentially, we're trying to get our back pocket turned, which is going to get our hips coiled or closed, and that's going to get our back leg loaded back this way, okay? So that was the first thing. I wanted him to feel around this leg better. If you see the weight, right, early, couple things. One, feet are definitely more narrow together, But see how the weight is just getting forward? So the weight is getting into this leg, right? So he's shifting into his leg. He's getting heavy into his front side. And anytime a hitter shifts and then swings, they're almost always forward, right? And that's why you see this leg doesn't look like it's really working very well, because the weight just gets here and then the back leg just kind of drags through, right? So shift weight and then drag the back leg through. And so on this one, we did a bunch of coil drills to get the weight around this leg. And then as he takes a stride out, we work on continuing the coil as he's striding out, right? And so you can see how he's striding out, but he's continuing the coil, like his back pocket continues to go this way. And so he's getting around this leg better, and he's keeping his weight around that leg better. Now, he's not just keeping all of his weight back. He's not just like stacked back here and reaching. He's moving forward, but he's doing so while continuing the coil, right? And you don't see that action in the... Look at this action on the left, and then look at the action on the right. See how you don't see it as much? On the right, what you see is just kind of a lateral kind of push with the weight. Like I said, the weight's going to get just kind of pushed into the front foot. Okay? So now we've got weight around here. We've got a back leg loaded back this way, a leg that's ready to just, boom, turn fast, right? And so the next thing is, so we do a bunch of those coil drills. Now the next thing I tell him is once he gets to that point right there, and we've gotten the lower body right where we want it, now when it's time to hit and this leg starts to turn, I want him to think about taking his upper body, and we talk about just working the upper body back with the barrel. So upper body's going to go rearward, barrel's going to go rearward like this, right? And so now you start getting this leg turning like this, and you get everything above that leg to want to go back this way. Right? So notice again on the left, everything looks back, right? And again, this isn't perfect yet, but for 30 to 40 minutes, this is a huge, huge change. On the right, weight gets shifted, and now you don't see a rearward move, you see a forward move. So this is more knob down to the ball, this is more upper body to the left. This over here is more upper body back, tilting back, and it's more palm up, palm down, trying to turn the knob. See the difference? Turn the knob, push the knob down and forward. And so that's when you get to this point, right? Everything here looks forward. Weight has shifted there, upper body's forward, pushing the hands. Here, weight is staying around this leg better. Like this leg is working. Right? And so right leg is turning. Everything above the leg again is going back. Now you see that separation. Right? And so he said, man, a lot of people tell me I don't use my lower body. And I said, have you figured out how to use it? And he said, no. And so I took this video, we showed the video, and I said, okay, now look. So we did all that stuff, and I never said use your lower body. We talked about getting the weight around here better, then we talked about tilting, getting the barrel to go rearward, right? And then all of a sudden I showed this video and I scrubbed it, and I go, which one does it look like you're using your lower body better? And he said, oh, this one, like easily. And I said, yeah. And we didn't even say use your lower body. I never said use your lower body better. But I just showed him how you use your lower body better. That's the key. Right? So again, he's on the path now of like taking this and continuing to work and refine it and get it better. But pretty impressive start for 45 minutes. And I think most people would look at these two swings and say, just pick a hitter that you like in the major leagues. Not saying this is a major league swing, but I'm just saying, which one looks more like a high-level hitter? Even if you don't know what we're working on. So that's all we have. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we will talk to you later.